How much of a bug were you as a child? Like, come on, Dad, let's go outside. I want to play catch. I want to play catch.
I was a big bug. You know, I always wanted to be outside. You know, never was inside. Always getting into trouble. But most of the time, I couldn't get my dad to come out and throw the ball with me. I'd be throwing it against the brick wall or against the side of the house, and broke many a window growing up.
When you're younger, you often play a bunch of different positions to kind of just get a feel of the game. Were you always a pitcher, or were you a first baseman, a third baseman?
I was a first baseman, third baseman, and a pitcher. So, you know, whenever I feel like I've always been a reliever. The only time I started was a couple years in high school. But, yeah, I was always an infielder, always felt like I had some pretty good athleticism and good feet, but then pitching just took over once I got to college.
Who'd you look up to as a kid?
As a kid and as an infielder, I looked up to Cal Ripken Jr. And, you know, the guy played literally 2,600 games in a row or something like that, and he always, you know, approached the game the right way. And then on the mound, one of my dad's favorite pitchers was Bob Gibson, and so I looked at or used him as an example. And then my two favorite pitchers growing up when I was a child were Nolan Ryan and Roger Clemens.
Now, what did your dad tell you about Bob Gibson?
He was the ultimate competitor, a fierce, you know, tenacious pitcher who always went out there. And I mean, there was a story about how he took a comeback or line drive and it broke his leg, and he refused to come out of the game. And you know, obviously that's an extremity, but he was saying how every time he took the ball, he went out there and he pitched 9 full innings, and he didn't come out of the game till the job was done. And he told me, don't ever, you know, quit. Don't ever quit on your team, and approach it and go after it like until the job is done.
High school years, would you say you were more of a Roger Clemens, a Nolan Ryan, or a Bob Gibson?
I mean, those are all, you know, Hall of Famers
Sure.
and a Hall of Fame candidate, but those obviously as idols, you know, I would like to say that, you know, I copied my mechanics after Roger Clemens. I tried to be the power pitcher that he was. I didn't have a problem buzzing towers, and I had a fiery attitude, and sometimes that was detrimental to, you know, my emotions during the game. But I grew up, and I learned how to control those things, and now I'm my own person, and I have my own, I guess, demeanor when it comes to pitching. So, yeah, it's been a big array of experiences and different idols, I guess, growing up, but now I think I've come into my own.